Thank you very much. This is big stuff, and we appreciate you being here. Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela.
Venezuela's capital city has been jolted awake in the dead of night.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the dead of night on January 3rd, 2026, the capital of Venezuela was jolted awake.
U.S. Delta forces slipped into the home of dictator Nicolas Maduro.
The United States hit Venezuela with a large-scale strike early Saturday and said its president, Nicolas Maduro, had been captured and flown out of the country.
Good night. Happy New Year.
The most powerful military on the planet, the United States military, had flown the country's president out from Venezuela, that too handcuffed, to a courtroom in New York. Now stop and think how strange it is. The United States already pumps more oil than any nation on the planet. It didn't want any other crude. So why would it risk an extraordinary operation on other country? That to a country which is broke and collapsed economy. Last week, we discussed about a country with no natural resources became a superpower of the world. If you have not yet checked that episode, go check it out here. I will link it out here. But today, in this episode, we are discussing exactly opposite. The country which had all the resources but couldn't even utilize one thing. It has one of the largest oil reserve on the planet. Stick with me to the end because the real prize that is buried inside Venezuela's soil is not oil. Here's a contradiction at the center of everything. Quick game. Guess which country sits on most oil on the earth? You may say Saudi Arabia, you may say Russia, you may say United States. But sadly, it is not even one of them. It is Venezuela.
Beneath this vast and ancient landscape lies the greatest accumulation of crude oil on Earth. Venezuela holds the largest proven reserves on the planet.
303 billion barrels. Yes, 303 billion barrels is the amount of crude oil that is sitting under Venezuela's soil. It is more than Saudi Arabia because it has just 267 billion barrels. Now let's look at the other half of the picture. Nearly 8 million people flew out of this country. People literally dug through trash bins to find food.
For many Venezuelans who can't find food at affordable prices, they have little option but to turn to places like this.
As Venezuela's economic crisis drags on, more and more Venezuelans are slipping into poverty and struggling.
Venezuela's once thriving middle class is now trapped in desperation, struggling to put food on the table, some even dying from simple infections due to a lack of basic medicines.
Now, the question here is how the richest possible country turned into one of the bankruptcy nations on the planet. And this is one of the half mystery what we are speaking. The other half is the moment it hit the rock bottom, why are superpowers running towards it? To crack both of these questions, let's rewind 100 years. In the 1920s, drillers struck oil near Lake Maracaibo. And it was not little amounts of crude what they found. I can literally compare it to the ocean. That was the amount that they found in that Lake Maracaibo. Overnight, a poor farming nation became the world's top oil exporter. The money came so fast that even Venezuela didn't expect. In 1950s, Venezuela was fourth richest country on the planet by income per person. They even called it Saudi Venezuela, and geography made it even more golden. Venezuela sat right next to the door of the largest consumer of oil, the United States. So its crude was cheaper to ship than the Middle Eastern crude. But what turned out? American companies built oil wells, rigs, pipelines and even refineries on Venezuela's soil. For decades, I can say this was the perfect partnership because It was America's money which was pulled into Venezuela's oil. But here's the quiet rot underneath the boom. The country got everything from that oil, so it started building anything else. No real factories were gone, no farmlands were irrigated, no investments were pooled, and nothing else. It was just the entire country's population was dependent on oil. They had only one answer for this question. Why bother when you can sell crude and earn money? And then a man walked onto the stage and promised us something that Venezuela's history never thought it was coming. 1999. A former soldier named Hugo Chavez takes the power with just one electric promise. The oil belongs to you, not the foreign corporations. He passed a law forcing foreign corporation to hand the Venezuela state a controlling share of every project. And what did American and foreign corporations do? They just said no and walked out.
Venezuela's president isn't too impressed with ExxonMobil right now. The government of Venezuela plans to take over the company's 11 oil rigs in that country.
We will never give this, our wealth, our nation to the United States empire.
It was the first international company to pull out of Venezuela.
ExxonMobil will be paid $1 billion in compensation from Venezuela.
So what did Chavez do? Chavez seized the wells. He blocked the pipelines. He literally blocked every pool of foreign investment what came into Venezuela. The infrastructure what they built, it all went to one state oil company named PDVSA. It was Petro de Venezuela. It was a state oil company which was being governed by the government. Oil prices were skyrocketing. From under a $10 oil barrel, it went to $100 a barrel. So what did he do with the money what he got? He gave the poor clinics, subsidized food, housing. But what was the result? It was good. Poverty got cut into half. But what about with the second perspective? On the other side, it looked like the curse had finally beaten back. He did two things. Mistake number one, he spent the oil money instead of investing it. Not a single dollar was spent in investing new technology. Not a single dollar was spent into investing factories. Not a single dollar in development of the nation. The whole country still ran on that one product, and it was the oil. Mistake number two, he fired roughly 20,000 experienced PDVSA engineers and oil workers. He literally fired them because they went against him. He replaced with political loyalists. Oil prices started sliding, and the one thing which was holding up the entire nation was gone. 2013, Chavez dies. His successor, Nicolas Maduro's, he inherits the bet. And in 2014, the bet exploded. Oil prices came surging down from $100 a barrel to under $30 a barrel. A country which was literally dependent on one leg, which was oil, was already gone. And with what will the countries now stand on? It was a big question mark. So the government did something very dangerous. It printed money. Faster and faster ever. Guess the inflation at the peak. India fears when inflation touches 7%. Venezuela, by some measures, hit a whooping 1 million percentage. What did people do? How did people react to this man? People literally stopped counting money and started weighing it. In the average year, the Venezuelan lost almost 11 kgs. Not because of diet. It was because they starved the entire year. They gave a pretty good name for this. They called it the Maduro's diet. The whole economy of Venezuela shrank by 80% in just one decade. The question that we were sitting in the start of this video, why did the world's superpowers came running towards this country? Under Venezuela's soil, it isn't just oil reserve which is sitting underneath. It was one of the biggest treasures that the world has never seen. It holds Latin America's largest gold reserve. It has coltan, the mineral inside the phone which is in your hand right now, bauxite, iron ore, and by its government estimates, possibly the largest diamond mine on the planet.
Secondly, Venezuela has a huge mine called Arco Minero, which is expected to have 7,000 tons of gold, $100 billion worth of coltan, which is a mineral used in every smartphone, laptop and electric vehicle, and it also has 3 billion carats of diamond reserves.
So let us directly jump into the 3 takeaways. Takeaway number 1, resources don't make any country rich. If you have watched the Singapore episode, this is the same takeaway from that. Singapore literally had nothing under the soil. It became the superpower of the world. Today, Venezuela has literally the largest reserves of diamond, oil, gold, and many others. But still, Venezuela is the poorest country on the planet, and it still ranks somewhere lowest in the leaderboard. Takeaway number 2. When one easy thing pays for everything, that's not your actual strength. It's your fragility which is wearing a crown. To put that in an easy way, Venezuela depended completely on oil. It didn't invest in building infrastructure. It didn't invest in building factories. It literally said, I have oil, I'm going to just sell it and get money and purchase all the other things. And that one advantage turned out to be the biggest curse of Venezuela. Takeaway number 3 for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you people who are watching this episode, you're on a purpose here. What will I get? And I want to clear that. Many people think that we don't have a certain resource, and that's the reason we are not succeeded in our life. It may be money, it may be properties, it may be inherited properties from forefathers or fathers, it may be literally any resource that you might think. It is not the gap that is stopping you from being succeeded. Let me give you 2 great examples. Example number 1, Elon Musk. Elon Musk today is a trillionaire. He launched his IPO and he turned out to be the first trillionaire on the planet. 30 to 35 years down the line, he was born in a small backward place in South Africa. Today, he's a trillionaire. Then, why did he become a trillionaire? It was not the resource that he complained of. It was the mindset and strategy what he thought. And that strategies are thought in this channel, Rohan. So click that subscribe button so that you don't miss any strategy, power, or money episodes every Saturday. Example number 2, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is a co-founder of Apple. Apple is one of the most valuable companies on the planet. But when we speak about the ground reality when it started in a garage. Today, it is valued somewhere around $4 trillion in market value. So there is nothing called as a resource which lacks you from being succeeded. It is just your mindset and your strategies which are lacking. So never think resources are the problem. If this changed you how you see wealth and strategy, we are going to break down many other such strategies and case studies in the near future. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon and like this video. Thank you for watching, guys. That's it from my side for today. Meet you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.